Hello, welcome to a video. I have not made a video in a while. There's not any particular reasoning for that. Yeah, here we are. You're gonna watch me play Skate 3 while I talk about UAPs and such. I recently watched like a third of the Joe Rogan Tucker Carlson interview. And I was looking at the transcript of that interview to prepare for this video, just to refresh the spidey senses. And at the beginning of the video, they talk about Project Kona Blue. And this is a couple years ago now, so this is probably not new news. You probably just heard my air conditioning kick on. I'm in a very, very secluded utility room right now, so you're just gonna have to deal with that air conditioning. Yeah, so they talk about Project Kona Blue, and apparently at the time of the interview, in 2024, they had accidentally disclosed a lot of UAP phenomena type shit. And now, if you look up Project Kona Blue, what it says is that it was a project that was proposed to Congress, I think, but never formally approved by the U.S. government program to investigate unidentified anomalous phenomena and reverse engineer presumed extraterrestrial technology. They proposed Project Kona Blue in the 2010s, and apparently it was rejected. But in this Joe Rogan interview, you have Tucker Carlson saying that it was, it was accidentally released. So, yeah, they changed history there. Currently, to date, as of May 8th, 2026, we have the presidential unsealing of Project Pursue. Presidential unsealing and reporting system for UAP encounters. Pursue in parentheses. You can go to war.gov, and the link is just war.gov/UFO. And you can see, I'll put them up on screen, these images that they have, and much like some other documents that were legally required to be released by the U.S. government in this past while, it's all been, like, a lot of it has been covered up. But you can see in this image, we've just got a floating orb, just casual floating orb, normal stuff going on there. So these things, there's also been sighting, here, let me go back to this page so I can actually give you the name of this channel, because it's a really good channel. This guy talks about enlightening type things. Awakened Exchanges. This guy's got a really good channel. He talks about, enlightening things. I found the channel because I was looking for a deep dive on the Great Awakening map, which is that's a whole nother topic. But yeah, so I'll pull the video up right now.
I'm gonna video it as long as we can. It just blinked out.
It disappeared.
That fucker just blinked out.
It totally just blinked out.
That is a fucking UFO.
Babe. What the fuck?
Holy motherfuck. I'm keeping the fucking camera up there.
I am too.
Because I've seen it blink out 3 times now. Come on, come back, we love you. We are friendly. Dax should have been with us, we didn't know.
Dax is like, oh man.
Maybe, it's just gone.
Yeah, no, I know, I videoed it all. We got double video, babe.
I'm gonna zoom out. And thank you, that actually would make it easier for people to look at and see we're not fucking with this shit. Did you see it blink and start fading into nothingness?
Because I was like, is it gonna, I thought it was like turning or something, and then it was gone.
Holy fuck, it's done. I'm glad it fucking came back.
So, like, as you can, there's a few videos, but I just showed you one of them. It's just a completely anomalous, unidentified anomalous phenomena. It's just a thing that's blinking in and out of existence in the sky, and if I had have seen this, back in the day, back in the good old days, I would have said, oh, that's just a glare on the camera or whatever. But we have, so the evidence that I've provided you so far, we have the actual government disclosure, which these things just defy all nature. It's like, we don't, like, what the fuck is that? Yeah. And then we have the, they tried to cover some shit up for a long time, because apparently Project Kona Blue was supposedly proposed in the 2010s and denied, but obviously it fucking wasn't, because we have, Tucker Carlson and Joe Rogan talking about it, and it was, it was released, like, Tucker Carlson was saying that it was just released on accident, like, at the time of the interview. Yeah. And apparently in those files that were accidentally released, it had evidence pertaining to deaths and energies from advanced aerospace vehicles. That's one of the things that they talked about in the interview, was there were medical injuries as a result of these unidentified anomalies. And, you know, obviously they've redacted these things from existence to my knowledge. You know, I'm not the most knowledgeable person in the world or anything like that, but yeah. So yeah, it's fair to say that we can confirm for 100% that these anomalies, you know, strange things that defy the laws of nature and physics and what have you, do exist. 100%. Now, what's important is, like, the questions, you know, like, are these beings? Are these just strange, you know, results of energy stuff happening in the universe? You know, what the hell's going on? In the Joe Rogan interview, they talk about spiritual connection. Now, my current belief, as far as spiritual anything, is that it is all real. It is all, you know, like the shit that the Bible and the Quran and all of that tries to explain is very real. It is just simplified to a level that we can understand, because the real nature of God and all of that is, you know, obviously beyond our comprehension. And the nature of these beings known as angels and demons are also beyond our comprehension. You know, it's very possible that they're not even beings. They're just, you know, inherent energies with connotation. Or it could be that they are beings and they are extra dimensional. You know, they could be from the fourth dimension or whatever, that, you know, they've just discovered ways to interface with, you know, our plane of existence. Now, if that's the case, then these, if they are beings from another, you know, from an alternate state of reality, then it would be clear that any interaction with us, you know, as conscious creatures, would inherently have to be intentional, you know. But considering the fact that these encounters, these interactions that they have had with our species have been completely non-influential, so it's impossible to derive any kind of intention behind, you know, these beings making themselves known. My working theory is that these beings, you know, these extra dimensional beings, they've learned to interface with our state of reality for the sake of observing and nurturing the development of human consciousness. There would be no other explanation as to why these anomalies would just kind of pop into existence randomly, and, you know, like, other than to just look around and be like, oh, look at that, look at the humans doing their thing, you know. It's possible that, you know, what we're seeing is, oh, my air conditioning just turned off. There you go, you don't have to listen to my air conditioning. But anyways, The theory of interface, from one higher dimension, something from a higher dimension to a lower dimension, is that, so like picture a sphere passing through a piece of paper, and think of what, a being that exists in those two dimensions on the piece of paper would see as the sphere is passing through. I'll see if I can find some kind of diagram to put up while I'm explaining this, but it would, to the being in the two-dimensional state of reality, it would just look like a line, or whatever the two-dimensional being calls it. It would just look like a line that gets, as the sphere passes through the piece of paper, they would only see a section of that sphere that is interfaced with the piece of paper, and it would just be this line that starts out as the small, end of the sphere, and then work through the bigger part of the sphere towards the center, and then get smaller again as it gets to the other edge of the sphere. I think that what we are seeing is, that, but say a fourth dimensional being or thing passing through our reality, and we're just seeing it in that same sort of way, just in our reality. So to us, rather than it looking like this line, it looks like a sphere. And these fourth dimensional beings, they're just, or fifth dimensional or whatever, extra dimensional beings that are interfacing with our reality. They're just observing us and doing whatever, because that's the only explanation. I mean, just like how the two-dimensional being would only be able to comprehend the line, we're only able to comprehend the sphere, so that's gonna make sense to whoever it makes sense to. And I think that there is a heavy correlation between these anomalies and sentinel light beings, which, if you don't know what those are, I'm horrible at explaining this. I tried to, and I had to cut my recording off, and I suck. So I'm gonna let Jared Wright do it. This is off of the channel Your Mate Tom, and this is just Jared Wright describing his experience. I'm gonna put that up on screen.
So I grabbed the mushroom, and I didn't take it just yet. I was waiting till late afternoon, and then because I waited for my dad to go to bed because I was always up at night.
Yeah.
And this was the point when I was living at my dad's, and we've got this. He has this big picture of a tiger in the living room, and he's had it since he was 20. So it's been in the house ever since I've been alive. And it's a pattern. It's a tiger, but it's a tiger's face with his eyes, but it's all made of a full-on pattern. So it's not a proper picture of a tiger. It's just a pattern making a tiger's face.
It is a symmetrical.
It's symmetrical, yeah. It's
like a tribal pattern kind of thing, or
kind of like that, yeah, like a tribal pattern. That's the best I can. I'll have to get a photo.
Well,
of it.
yeah, we'll stick with that for now.
Yeah. And I'm getting to that point, but my dad went to bed, and I took the mushroom, and I stay up till 3. Well, back then I did. Stay at 3 or 4 till the sun comes up, really, because that's where I got most creative. So I took this mushroom knowing that I'm going to experience something because of the snake. It gave me a full-on it was a full-on sign. So coming up to the trip, and I wasn't tripping. I was just kind of feeling it coming on. And I was just walking around just in my living room, and then I I look over at the picture of the tiger, and it's just on the wall, perfect eye level. And I wasn't even tripping at this point, not really. I was just feeling it coming on. So this wasn't like a trip related thing I was hearing. I was just started staring at it like I was making a drink or something, like a coffee or some shit. And I just got distracted by it. I was just staring into his eyes, into the tiger's eyes on the picture. And then like I walked around the kitchen and I just started looking at it on the wall. And I was probably about 5 meters away from it. So I'm just like staring at it. And then I get a voice in my head saying, step a little closer. Just like, step a little closer. So I did. I was like, let's see where this goes. Because that was in the spot where I was just like, yeah, any experience I can get, I'm going to take it.
Curious cat.
Yeah, curious. I was very curious because it was all very new to me.
Yeah, I completely relate.
So anything I'll be going towards
new experience. Fuck yeah.
Yeah, please. Yeah. I want to learn as much as I can.
Yeah.
And I was looking for that feeling again of going back to that place, having the same Kundalini experience.
Yeah.
And when I got there, when he said, step a little closer, I assumed it was the tiger because I was looking at it at the time and it felt like a presence was in this sheet, like this really old school sheet. It's from Sri Lanka, this thing. So someone's probably made it and put energies into it. I don't know, I couldn't tell you. But as I got there, I started to do this breathing technique all of a sudden and lifting up my arms. It was almost like a yoga kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I started to feel the risingness of the Kundalini coming through my feet, up my legs, and like in the base of my spine, like real hectic, real energy. And I was like feeling it kind of crawl up my spine like a snake, like, whoa, this is that energy. Like, oh my God, like I'm about to have this experience again. I was like kind of like going, oh shit, am I ready to go back there? Because that was intense. Like still to this day, that was the most profound experience I've ever had and ever will have until I die, I suppose.
Yeah.
Because it felt like dying, proper dying, like being shoved out of your body, and you're way more massive than just this little body. You become the sun, like bigger than the sun. Like you go out of this universe. It's
yeah, I bet.
It's out of this world, so to speak. There, Tom. He's probably got to say this one day, like, Jared, you cunts. But so
yeah.
I'm trying to. So I'm.
See you making fun of me on the Your Mate Tom podcast.
It's very laughable. I must admit, but I had a full proper belly laugh, man. Seeing you do my impression. Just don't do it again, Jared. Nah, you'd have a kick out of it. But fucking yeah. Anyway, so this Kundalini's rising, and I'm full on feeling the energy, and I can feel this presence still there. The TV's on in the living room, and it's on like really quietly, so I can barely hear it, but I can see it in my corner of my eye.
Yeah.
And as it's rising, it's going through my chakras, like as it did. You know, I know this feeling. I'm feeling it, and it's about to rise to my head. And in this moment, I'm looking around, going like, "Is this the right place to do this? Like, I don't feel like I'm in control of this. Who is this being in the first place? What's going on?" So just before it reached my crown chakra, and I was about to be blown into it, I rejected it. So it went. The energy rose up and went, and I went, nah, and went. Yeah. And then I just started sweating. It was the middle of winter. It was probably August or July or something. And
what made you stop?
Because I just didn't trust it. I was just like, nah, there's something going on here. This is forced. I feel like I'm being tricked. There's a presence here. The first time it happened, I didn't have a being do it to me or any deities. It was in its perfect time on the hill that I live, and
the source.
I wanted to be out in nature for this to happen.
Yeah.
And this was at night time. I wasn't in the right headspace or whatever, but it just felt like forced. Anyway, I rejected it, and I just felt all this just negative, just like it was just all this energy is just diluting, and I'm just sweating profusely, and my heart was beating heaps, and I was just spinning out. I just saw purple, it was like the mushroom kicked in right in that moment. All in that moment. I used all of it up just in that moment, and because I was sober after this experience. And I just started seeing like triangles spinning, just heaps of purple triangles spinning around. And I didn't really, I knew something was going on. I'll get to it in a sec. But I just looked up because I can barely open my eyes. And I looked up and there was 3 tall sentinel, I call them light beings, that were standing around me. One was standing on my right, one was standing on my left, and I didn't see the one behind me, but I can just feel there was another one behind me, and they were just tall, like big sentinels, like mannequins, like they were just made of light. You can't see their face, and I was just seeing them like that, like and they were really tall, and they were like physical but not physical. It's like I was seeing them in my third eye more than my actual eyes, I guess, and their energy was just awesome and just protection, like a big egg shaped light force field just like kind of surrounded me, and they're like around me like this with their arms out linking to each other, and I just had to sit down just in the middle of them, and I wasn't scared or anything like that. I was just like more like, oh, thanks for being here kind of thing, like I need this because I'm fucked. And then I heard from behind these beings the being on the wall saying I am your master. And I heard that, and I was just like so vulnerable, and I was just like sweating. I can hear this. It was like a demon, like saying, "I am your master," and I was hearing that, and I was just like, "No one's my master. How dare you say that to me? Like I'm my master. No one has a master. Everyone's their own master. I know this," and I stood up. And it was like how I explained to you before. It was like standing up underneath a trampoline, like trying to stretch.
Yeah.
Like stand up with a trampoline on your head because the energy was just forcing me down.
With that gravitational.
Yeah. It was full on hectic. I was like standing up, and as much as it really hurt, and like I was just weak and about to pass out, I just had to stood up with all the power I had left, just standing up just to this thing, saying, "You're not my master. Like. I don't believe you. I don't trust you. Get out of my house." And as in this time, I was looking at it. This lion face. It was a tiger face, not a lion. Sorry. The eyes and the pattern. How I was saying it was really geometrical.
Yeah.
When I looked at it, my eyes went cross-eyed like this. So the picture changed. Like here's the 2 eyes. The picture did this, and the eyes stayed like. They were far away, just like a tiger's face, and my eyes crossed like that. So the picture is now transformed to the tiger's head doing that to like...
Yeah, kind of inverted.
I can draw a picture of it, actually.
Alright.
Good.
You have the pencil?
Yeah, the pencil's just here.
Right there.
And it was just a black silhouette like that.
That's crazy.
That's what the picture morphed into. And that's what I felt. It was like a really strong energy, and I can still do it today. I can still look at that same picture, cross my eyes, and see the same silhouette being. Like I can still see it. And I was like, did I tap into like the trick of this painting? And
So, what I think is that in the amplified state of consciousness and perception that psychedelic mushrooms provides, these extra-dimensional beings are actually able to not just interface with our state of reality, but interface with our perception and present themselves as, beings that we can comprehend. And, his experience alone, and my connection, I think these extra-dimensional anomalies that the government has released files on, and these sentinel light beings are the same thing. And I think that they, Jared Wright describes, they protected him from this, negative being. And, I think that these extra-dimensional beings have positive intentions for humanity. I'm going to reiterate, I think that their intentions are to observe and facilitate the development of human consciousness, and I think that it's possible that these extra-dimensional beings are the only reason that human consciousness has made it as far as it has. Because, I think that the spirit that was in that tiger painting would have taken over Jared Wright and done whatever, it would have possessed him, I guess, it's, yeah,